Is it time to create something different with your life and your body? Right Body for You will inspire you and invite you to a different way of creating the body and the life you truly desire. Ready? Let's go. Here's your host, Donnielle.
And welcome, everybody. This is Donnielle, your host, and you're listening to Right Body for You. Today is a fun day. I'm actually in Rome. Don't I sound like I'm in Rome? I'm just kidding. But I am in Rome facilitating Right Body for You workshops. Last weekend I was in Edmonton, Canada. Next week I get to be in Perth, Australia. You know, and that's some of the fun and joy that I've actually created my life as, which I am so grateful for. And one of those things that I am so grateful for is that I have the ability to travel and change people's lives and have them, well, not change their lives, invite them to them changing their lives. And, you know, in today's topic, we're talking about magic, and that's truly the magic that this all be and is and that you are. You know, the topic today for the show is, are you putting a disclaimer on magic? And, you know, so often we actually do that. So often we go and say, oh, well, that was just a coincidence, or no, that wasn't me, or dear heavens, wow, I'm so glad that happened. Somebody else created it. It's a miracle. Well, you know what the miracle is? You are actually the miracle. And so, you know, you can find truth anywhere. You know, that's one of the great things about the work I do is looking at the energy of all things. And when you say things like, oh, I wish this would just come out okay, or I wish I had more money, or I wish we do all of these things, and and we sit there and we go, oh, I just wish it would happen. I wish I had a magic wand. Well, what if you're the magic wand? Okay. And so what I was saying is, you know, you can really find truth anywhere. I find truth watching TV shows, at comedy concerts, at overhearing conversations on a plane. You can find truth anywhere. And so why I say this is I actually use a quote from a TV show. It's in the States. It's called Once Upon a Time. Some of you may have heard of it. And it's kind of a different spin on all the fairy tales, and everybody you know, lives together, and it's like, oh, that's Snow White, oh, those are the seven dwarves, and oh, that's Cinderella, and oh my gosh, that's Captain Hook, you know, and fun stuff like that. Anyways, and so they also did Alice in Wonderland, right? They had those characters in there. And so they had the Mad Hatter, and, you know, everybody viewed the Mad Hatter as just crazy. You know, that's what he is, he's mad. He's the mad, Mad Hatter, right? Not like mad as in angry. Ugh. Mad as in bonkers. And so, you know, excuse me. And so what the premise of the show is, they took the fairy tale characters out of the fairy tale land, the magical land, and they put it into our world, which has no magic, which is just, you know, reality. And you know, people can't do magic, and those who were magic in other lands, they can't. And I mean, yeah, it changed over the seasons because, well, the show has to evolve, and it's been on for like 7 seasons or something, 6, 7. But during the first season, so they had the Mad Hatter on there, and of course there's no magic, and they're all dealing with this problem, and they're trying to convince the one character that there is magic and she's magical. Kind of like us, right? We're always trying to convince each other or ourselves that we're magic. And the Mad Hatter, so he's sitting there in, you know, this reality persona, just like us. And he, in his insanity, he remembers the other life where they were all in the fairy tale magical land. Because that was part of the curse, was that you didn't remember that you were part of this fairy tale land, right? And so, but because of his insanity, which is interesting that in his insanity, he remembers this other lifetime, and where, you know, he knew they were magical and they knew they could do all these things, and that where they were living now wasn't the truth. And so anyway, so he's, you know, this main character is trying to be convinced that she's magical and all this kind of stuff. And he looks at her and he says, you know what's wrong with you people? And she's like, what? You know, 'cause here's this crazy person, right? What's wrong with us? And he looks at her and he goes, you all want magical solutions, yet you refuse to believe in magic. And, you know, and that's really stuck with me, because like I said, this TV show has been on for 6 seasons, and this was first season. And it was just one of those moments where everything goes blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, holy crap, that is exactly what we do. We sit there and we want magical solutions, and we so want magic to be real, you know. And I mean, anybody else ever desire to, you know, go to Hogwarts and Harry Potter school and want a magic wand? I mean, freak, I actually went to the studios where they recorded a lot of the Harry Potter movies. You know, I went on a tour when I was in England, and I bought a wand, and I giggled when I walked into the dining hall of Hogwarts, you know, the whole set, and I stood in Dumbledore's office and the sleeping quarters, and you know, I was just like, oh my God, that is so cool. And what was interesting is you could almost feel the magic, and it's like, oh, it's just movie magic. You know, you say that, oh, it's just movie magic, it's not real. And, you know, but we do that. Oh, I wish that was real. Yet we refuse to even believe, because we don't want to be called mad. We don't want to be called insane or foolish or childish or let down. Because there's that aspect, excuse me, there's that aspect to it, you guys. It's not just like, oh, I'm afraid it won't happen, or I'm afraid that people will think I'm crazy if I say I believe in magic, or people will judge me. We're also so afraid of being let down. How many of us are not actually willing to try to be magic because we're afraid of being let down? You know, I've done that. I still do that occasionally. It's like, oh, yes, what would it take for the wall to suddenly be blue? It's tan right now, so those of you who can't see it, which is, everybody else but me. The wall's tan. I'm in a hotel. It's like, what would it take for this wall to be blue? And then we don't actually put much energy into it or magic or attempt, simply because we're like, it won't work and I don't want to be let down. How much of our lives do we not even try to do, attempt to do, try to create, put into action to create, simply because we're afraid of being let down or because it doesn't work? You know, it's almost better to have the hope and the possibility than to try and not have it happen at all, and then have our hopes dashed. Because if we have our hopes dashed, then what would we really have to go for? You know, the Right Body for You class workshop in Edmonton that I just finished, which, oh my gosh, you guys, was freaking amazing class. And so in this, you know, this woman, she's like, well, I don't want to give such and such up because I don't want to lose my motivation. So it's like, where is the search and journey of it become more valuable than actually the use of it, the creation of it? It's like, or letting go of the limitation. It's really shown up as some very, very, very interesting places, okay? So truth, how many of you are unwilling to be magic? To be the magic that you are? Well, how many of you are unwilling to be magic because you're afraid it won't happen? Because you're afraid of being let down, because you're afraid it would prove that you're not, and you'd rather have the hope that you are instead of the proof that you're not. Everything that is times a gazillion, stir and create it, please. Straight from good, bad, butt, buckle, line shirts, boys and beyond. That, my friends, is an example of the access consciousness verbal processing, and it works on the energetic level, and you could almost say it was, what's that word? Yes, magic, because what it does is it changes the energy. It goes to wherever we created limitation. It goes to wherever we thought, hey, that was a good idea, and it changes it. It 180s it. It takes it out of your universe so that you show up now different. And so if you want to learn more about it, you can go to theclearingstatement.com, or you can check out my website, donnielle.com, DONNLE.com, and you can learn more about it. But the good news is, the magical news is, because it's energy, you don't actually have to know it cognitively for it to work, because it's something innately that you be. So that's the good news, my friends. And some people in the chat room are like swearing, not swearing as in swearing at me or bad swearing, but like, holy cow, wow, and spinning and things like that. So it's like, yeah, this is the energy that is all around us, which is why I did the verbal processing. Sometimes I do it on the show and sometimes I don't. And that one was like, I can't go on until we clear a little bit of that energy, okay? And so here's the fun thing. Magic may not be what we think it is, what we've been taught it is. You know, people are always like, well, I need a magic wand. I need the right spells. I need the right tools. You know, this is what we've been taught magic is in this reality, is a spell book, is a cauldron, is a witch in a black pointy hat giggling. Wow. I usually do my witch cackle a lot better, but what are you going to do? This doesn't seem to be coming out of it. Maybe I'm no longer a witch. We all know I really am. People ask me all the time. They're like, oh, do you ever think you were a witch in a past life? I'm like, what do you mean a witch in a past life? I'm a witch this life. I'm just not a prop witch, meaning I don't need the cauldron. I don't need the magic wands. I don't need the herbs and crystals. I am the magic, which is kind of what this is all about. You know, magic has been given a bad rap. You know, before Harry Potter, thank you, J.K. Rowling, but before Harry Potter, it wasn't even as mainstream that it used to be. It was more of the black arts, witches dancing naked in a forest in the middle of the night, you know, making deals with the devil and vampires in the shadows, or, you know, things like that. And it's like, magic isn't what we've been told. You know, Harry Potter, that is one thing I'm actually grateful for, the Harry Potter books and the what J.K. Rowling created in the world, is because she kind of put magic into a different light, and I am truly grateful for that. So we're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we're going to talk, okay, so if magic isn't the wand and witches dancing and naked around a cauldron in the middle of the night making deals with the devil, what is magic? Why is it so inviting? Why is it so almost a seduction that we're utterly and so passionately refusing, okay? All right, so this is Donnielle. You're listening to Right Body for You on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
The life and the body you secretly hope for is possible. Somewhere you know that, right? What if creating that body and life is not about deprivation and sacrifice? Would you be willing to choose it? What if it could be as simple as changing how you look at things? Right Body for You with Donnielle is a different kind of radio show. Each week, Donnielle invites you to you. She shares simple tools that you can use immediately to create changes in your body and your life. Something different begins now. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
What if there's nothing wrong with you? What if you're far greater than you've ever given yourself credit for? What if it's time to know the gift and the contribution you are to the world and to like yourself a lot more? Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. Asking questions opens doors to infinite possibilities. And it's not about finding the answer. It's about being the question. Always. What I'm inviting you to step into is something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Newton, Da Vinci, Gandhi, Picasso, and Aristotle all knew to be true. What if no question is too big or too small? What if anything is possible for you? What if together we could create a kinder, gentler, happier world? Is now the time? Go to beingyouclass.com and sign up for a free video series, My Gift to You. beingyouclass.com. What if you, truly being you, are the gift and change this world requires? beingyouclass.com.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. If you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle. Thank you for joining me now in the past, in the present, or the future. Because I know how you humanoids, even though you like to, deny the magic that you be, I know you're just as capable of listening in the past as you are in the future. Speaking of being the magic and that you be, there is actually still time to join me in Rome, Italy for the Right Body for You workshops. I just facilitated the Right Body for You workshops in Edmonton, Canada, and holy crap. I will say part of what, the tools of Access Consciousness, the tools of Right Body for You, I use them all daily, hourly in my life. I really do. And I'm constantly changing. I'm constantly embracing. I'm constantly letting go of limitations and then acknowledging who I be and things like that. And part of this journey has also been really acknowledging and embracing the magic that I be, the potency, the awareness, and all of those kind of fun things. And so this was the one in Edmonton, Canada, the Right Body for You workshop in Edmonton, Canada, was the first Right Body for You workshop I had facilitated this year in 2017. Now I'm on like a nonstop. I'm constantly facilitating them between now and December. And the level of class that I was able to deliver surprised even me. I guess I shouldn't say surprised even me, but thrilled me. But I can look back and go, damn, that was a cool class. And we actually had a lot of brand new people in. I mean, we had people in there who had never even heard of Access Consciousness or Right Body for You. They just happened to see a post somewhere from a friend of a friend of a friend, and she's like, I have to be to this class, which was really, really neat to see. And what was cool is the thing about the magic, you guys, and the oneness consciousness that we all are, is the changes we make for ourselves, the magic that we create for ourselves isn't actually for ourselves. Well, not for ourselves only. It comes from a place where it gets to change everybody. So what was really cool was my ability to be more magic, to step up, to embrace, to be aware, invited other people to step up, embrace, and be aware and be the magic that they be. And they were already stepping into it, which is pretty freaking cool. So this class I just did in Edmonton was holy freaking crap. It was really just absolutely amazing. It was, you might say, magical. Like I said, there's still time to join me in Rome, Italy, if you want. Then I'm going to be in Perth, Australia, doing the Access Consciousness 3-day body class. Then I'm going to be in somewhere else. This is when I need my schedule in front of me. I know I'll be in Brisbane, Australia the next month for facilitating the Right Body for You workshop. Then I'm going to also be, throughout the year, I'm going to be in London doing the Right Body for You workshop, Vienna doing the Right Body for You workshop, Mexico doing the Right Body for You workshop. It's pretty amazing. And I also have, speaking of magic, holy crap, I'm doing a Right Body for You Tools in Action, kind of an advanced Right Body for You class in New Orleans, Louisiana, in the French Quarter. And wow, talk about a magical place. There is so much magic sitting around that place. So please do check it out. There's plenty of time to join me all over the world. Come see me somewhere near you or for you. Let's take a trip and come play with me. Check it out at Donnielle.com, DonnielleLE.com. Come and play. So today we're talking about, are you putting a disclaimer on magic? And what do I mean by that? Okay. So the inspiration for the show is I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was talking about moving and things like that. And at the same time, she was also like, well, I need to have more money. I require more money, not just for moving, but in general, because honestly, who doesn't have this conversation of like, oh, you know what? More money would be good. Tell me what is enough money. One of our favorite processes in Access is, what would it take to have so much money? You could never spend it all, and yet it never be enough and it's not like, oh, I'm selfish, I want all the money, I have to have it all, blah, 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 blah. No, that's not it. It's just that, why would you put a level in the stop on receiving? If I have $10,000 in my hand and somebody walks up and goes, hey, would you like $5 more? I'm not going to go, no, I have enough. Thank you very much. No, it's like, okay, thanks. I'm willing to receive. Because I also have the point of view that money is to help change people's realities. I like the possibilities that having money creates. Like when my nephew was needing some extra funds to go to his study abroad trip to Europe, and he had never been to Europe, and he had never been off the North American continent, and he had worked so hard, but he was about $1,200 short of this very pricey thing that he was attempting to do, and he had worked so hard for it, and so I was able to give him that. And this is, for me, the purpose of money, is to change people's realities and for the possibilities that it creates, not the possibilities of like, I have a bigger boat now, which absolutely, that includes it because that's fun, but also that, what you can do with it, with the tips and giving and sharing and things like that. Okay. And so my friend and I, we were talking about money, and she was also at this, so she, we're always in the question of, I require more money, what would it take to make more money, things like that. And then she's in this mode of moving because the apartment that she lives in, it's being sold. And so because it's being sold, the people are like, okay, well, you have to move, and to help you move, we're going to give you an extra month's rent. So they're literally going to give her cash. And so I'm like, well, cool, you were asking for more money. Her response was, well, it's not in my hand yet. And I'm like, wow, nice disclaimer. And then from this conversation is really where the conversation started being born. Because it's like, how often do we start putting that disclaimer? Oh, well, it's not in my hand yet, so I doubt it'll show up. And that's not magic. That's, and we have this thing like, well, money was supposed to come this way. I was supposed to work for it by doing sessions or a class, or I was supposed to do my 9-to-5 job or whatever it was. So it's like, well, that's the way that we were supposed to get money. And so we deny or, dismiss, all those fun words, deny or dismiss the magic of creating it other ways. And what's interesting is when I said that, I'm like, oh, she's like, oh, it's not in my hand yet. I'm like, wow, nice disclaimer. And what's interesting is the energy of then that she first said, well, it's not my hand yet, she actually put energy out into the universe of, well, I'm going to negate that. I'm going to not allow it to create, because then I could, that whole not believe in magic thing. Fortunately, this person knows the tool, so she's changed that, because almost immediately she was like, oh, crap, that's not what I meant. But the energy was there, and I'm grateful for that, because then the show was born, where we talk about how we negate the magic that we be with things like this. We're afraid of it not occurring, and so we immediately create the energy so that it doesn't occur. And then so when it doesn't occur, it validates our point of view that we don't have magic, even though we're still hoping for magic, which I always find interesting. No matter how much we go and negate the magic that we be or deny it, there's still that hope. There's still that desire. There's still that longing. There's still that moment of, oh, that would be nice if it was magic. And I had a discussion with somebody one time, and we were talking about magic, and, we were discussing why we so want to believe in magic, why we long for it, why we hope for it. And this person's point of view was really interesting, because she goes, well, people are just lazy. I'm like, excuse me? It's like, oh, the right turn. I was not expecting you to go from, magic discussion of magic to, oh, well, people are lazy. I'm like, say more, please, because I'm not exactly sure where you're going with this. And she was like, well, magic is about getting other people to do things for you, or other things. She had this point of view. It's like, oh, well, if you don't clean your house, if you just magically go poof and your house is clean, then that's lazy. Or, you can see in the fairy tales, like Sleeping Beauty, when they had the broom that would sweep themselves and things like that, that's totally what was in her universe. Or if you had magic, poof, you could just have all the money you desired in the world. Well, where's the motivation to work? Where's the, motivation to do something? And, oh, poof, if you could just, magically go, join me in Rome this weekend. What would that take, folks? But if you could just, it was, you didn't have to buy the ticket or do the travel, and then you didn't earn going. And it was this really interesting point of view about lazy, and how magic would take away all of our motivation, all of our cares, all of our, not even, oh, all my cares are gone, but all about caring, and how it wouldn't give us any reason to really live. And so she was actually using the lack of magic in the world, in her world anyways, as validation for the strife and struggle of life and the motivation to create and generate and be. And I'm like, wow, that for me was really sad. Because I'm like, well, maybe it's because I'm a sci-fi fantasy geek, but I look at things like, Star Trek Next Generation and things like that, or the original Star Trek. Yes, I'm a big geek. We all know this. And if you don't, now you do. And in their world, money was no longer really an issue. And so they did things that truly filled them with love and light and joy. And they, studied things to betterment of themselves and mankind, and exploration for the sake of exploration and finding out what's over that hill. And so for me, it's I look at that and it's like, why do we have to have lack of something, whether it be lack of magic, lack of money, lack of a happy life? Why do we have to have a lack of something that creates our motivation to be or do anything? And how does this deal with magic? Well, how many of us actually function from a similar point of view, or a shade of that point of view, more than we give ourselves credit for? So you guys know what I did. I looked up the original definition of magic, and I am totally going to tease you guys, because we're going to go on a quick little break. And when we come back, I'm going to share with you the original definition I found for magic. Yes, I'm a big tease. People in the chat room like, tease. I'm like, yes, you guys know you love it. But I'm going to share with you that definition of magic because for me, it really kind of helped look at, oh, that's why. Okay? All right. So this is Donnielle. You're listening to Right Body for You. We are on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
The life and the body you secretly hope for is possible. Somewhere you know that, right? What if creating that body and life is not about deprivation and sacrifice? Would you be willing to choose it? What if it could be as simple as changing how you look at things? Right Body for You with Donnielle is a different kind of radio show. Each week, Donnielle invites you to you. She shares simple tools that you can use immediately to create changes in your body and your life. Something different begins now. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Dane here, and I would like to invite you to an adventure in being. I've just written and finished a new book known as Being You, Changing the World. Are you one of those dreamers? One of those people who's always known that other possibilities should be available but haven't yet been able to see them be created? Well, I wrote this book for you. In it, you'll find tools, processes, and unique perspectives to change the things you've always wanted to change but didn't know how. In it, you'll find an invitation to a different possibility for a way that we can be in this world that changes not only our lives, but by being us, allows us to contribute to changing everything planet-wide that doesn't work. Are you aware that truly great people, truly being them, is the only thing that has ever created a great change on this planet? Are you willing to step up? Are you willing to be one? Check out a copy of my new book, Being You, Changing the World. I invite you to go to beingyoubook.com for a free gift.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. If you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle, a.k.a. the voice in your head. Sorry. I'm the voice in my head. And this is a joke because the number of people who told me, oh my gosh, you're a voice in my head. I always hear you say blah, 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 or this or that or blah, blah, blah. Yes, the witch in my head. Sorry, that was from the chat room. Which if you guys have never joined us in the chat room, I do encourage it. Just go to InspiredChoicesNetwork.com and click up on the chat room, and you put in your name. You don't have to download anything. You put in your name and join us in the chat room. You can, I encourage smart aleck comments because they certainly come out of my mouth. But you can ask questions and talk to each other, and it's just kind of fun to join that as well. So if you ever want to do that, please do. And so, today we're talking about, are you putting a disclaimer on magic? And, I should do a subheading of this. Are you putting a disclaimer on magic, a.k.a. dismissing it, denying it, and negating it, and actually being so magical that you're ensuring that your magic doesn't show? And so today we're talking about what is actually going on, because when we say things like, oh, it's just a coincidence, or I'm just lucky, well, you're not lucky, you're magic. Okay, so I looked up the definition of magic because you want to look at the original definitions of words, because the original language, believe it or not, is energy. It's not English, it's not Sanskrit, it's not Latin. The original language is actually energy. And then somewhere, some lifetime, it seemed like a good idea to put words to energy, and then was created the verbal and written aspect of our society and our life. And I'm pretty sure I had something to do with that, my love of words and writing and all of that kind of stuff. Anyways, that's another show. the magic words that you be. So the original language is energy, and we put these words to it, these consonants, these vowels. And sometime in 1945, because of whoever they are, they changed some definitions, trying to create panic, havoc. Maybe they thought it was clarity. I don't know. But they have some of these definitions of these words were changed in dictionaries. But here's the thing. It doesn't actually change the energy behind it, okay? And so you want to look at the original definition of the word to kind of see where the energy is. You know, it's one of my favorite things to talk about is the energy matching the word that you're using to get the creation that you desire. So I looked up magic. Okay. Now remember, we're defining magic as a wand, a cauldron, a spell, hocus pocus, things like that. So the actual definition of magic is the art of influencing events and producing marvels using hidden natural forces. And so I like this. I'm like, natural forces. Natural forces. So not unnatural, not something that would go against nature, because, you know, that's one of the things that we always do in the society is that it's unnatural. Magic is unnatural. It goes against the very nature of, you know, changing things. Well, if you go by that definition, everything goes against nature. Because you guys realize losing weight or in exchange of currency or planting a tree, weeding a garden is would be changing and going against the natural order, right? Natural order, hey, that weed was growing there for a reason. How dare you pull out the weed? And so it really is, it's interesting to me. So I'm like, okay, so art of influencing events and producing marvels using hidden natural forces. So I'm like, oh, well, you know what? Well, of course we're always longing for it, desiring for it, because it's who we are. We are this active, we are an art of influencing events and producing marvels using hidden natural forces. And hidden doesn't always mean secret, okay? Let me say that right now. Hidden does not always mean secret. Hidden can sometimes just mean not visible, okay? So it's not visible. I don't always see energy. Do you guys see energy very much? If you do, that would be really cool. Let me know how you do it. But for me, I don't see energy. I perceive it. I manipulate it. I move it. You know, sometimes I may see flashes of things, but for most part, for me and most people, energy is hidden from the eye. Hidden as in unseen, not hidden as in secret, not hidden as in instead of being, you know, because some people think, oh, that hide that away instead of allowing it in the forefront, instead of allowing it to be, hide it away. That's not actually also always what that word means. Hidden just is not visible to the eye sometimes as well. So when we're talking about art of influencing events and producing marvels using hidden natural forces, so basically we're just saying, hey, you know what? You're going to be able to shift things, move energy, change your life, change a car hitting your friend, all of this kind of stuff through using hidden natural forces, or in other words, the energy that you be. Natural, not unnatural, meaning maybe you don't see with the visible eye, right? So it's like, it really is truly this energy that we be. We are it. You know, the very first book I ever read in Access Consciousness was Magic, You Are It, Be It. And to this day, it remains one of my favorites. And what's fun is, and I like to talk about this magic thing with bodies because, shows Right Body for You. I do all these body classes all over the world simply because our bodies are magic walking. Talk about influencing events and producing marvels using hidden natural forces, because your body working every day. You wake up, you have a conversation, you chat, you talk, you pee, you digest, you chew, you dance, all of this. You filter blood, you have kidneys, your heart pumps, you have oxygen. Literally, I look at this kind of stuff, I'm like, wow, this is so magical. I don't care if science explains it. It's still magical that this actually occurs because it's the energy, okay? So it truly is the energy that you be, that you move the energy, okay? Every time we do a pod POC, it is magic walking, which is the verbal processing of access consciousness. Every time you make a friend smile who was crying before, that is magic walking. It's shifting the energy. It's moving the molecules, which, art of influence events and producing marvels using hidden natural forces, kind of feels similar, doesn't it? Yes, absolutely. You are actually magic walking, okay? So what do you do? How do you get over this point of view? Well, one of the things I really suggest you do is you go back through your past, okay? Because part of the thing about magic is time isn't real. Energy is forever, has been, and will be. You can't actually negate energy. It just is. And we use it. We manipulate it. It is magic with us. We be the magic, right? So one of the things I strongly suggest you do is you go back through your past, okay? You go back, and I don't mean like, I'm going to dwell on my past, things like that. No. But what you want to do is you want to go through your past and acknowledge where you were magic and didn't allow it. You didn't acknowledge it, okay? It's like, for example, I was driving down the road one time, and I got off the freeway, and I went to the light, and I stopped the car because I saw a white car running through the intersection. And so I stopped. And then what was really interesting is after I stopped, then the car went through the intersection. And I was like, did that car go through twice? And my mom's like, no, just the one time, because I was with her, right? She's like, no, just the one time. And she's like, well, why did you stop? Because we had the green light. We should have been going through, but the white car was actually running the red light. And I'm like, well, I saw the car going through the red light, and so I stopped. And she's like, no, you stopped, and the car went through the red light. And I'm like, oh. So I either changed the timing, foresaw the future, or, it's like I wasn't willing to have that accident, so I changed events. Whatever it is, I was magic, okay? So I want to go through and acknowledge things like that because time isn't real. I can show up now stronger and more trusting of myself and more acknowledging the magic that I be. So the next time I do go to do magic, it is there. The doubt isn't there, okay? Which is where so much of this actually shows up as the thing that we're scared about. We doubt it will happen, so we don't ask for it to happen, because if it doesn't happen, then we would be so sad, okay? We're going to take our last little break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about this doubt and hopefully a tool that you guys can use to begin to shift and change some of that, okay? All right, this is Donnielle. This is Right Body for You. We're on Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
The life and the body you secretly hope for is possible. Somewhere you know that, right? What if creating that body and life is not about deprivation and sacrifice? Would you be willing to choose it? What if it could be as simple as changing how you look at things? Right Body for You with Donnielle is a different kind of radio show. Each week, Donnielle invites you to you. She shares simple tools that you can use immediately to create changes in your body and your life. Something different begins now. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
When you're pondering the big questions like, is there more than this? How can I have a happy relationship? What would it take to like my body? And how do I make more money? Where do you go for information and tools? Check out the online store at accessconsciousness.com. Accessconsciousness.com has books, DVDs, instant video and audio downloads, online classes, and so much more. Subjects include abuse, changing your body, recovery, raising children, business techniques, tools to generate more money, how to have better sex and healthier relationships, just to name a few. At accessconsciousness.com, you can also find facilitators who teach local classes on a variety of subjects. Accessconsciousness.com, your one-stop shop for tools to assist you in changing your life. All of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. Go to accessconsciousness.com to learn more.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. If you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle at accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle. Today we're talking about magic. And, I had somebody ask me for the original definition of magic again. And it is the art of influencing events and producing marvels using hidden natural forces. Just remember, hidden does not mean secret or needs to be kept away from the world. Sometimes it just means not visually seen, like energy. Most of the time, energy is not visually seen, and natural means who we be and what we be, not unnatural, goes against God. That is what so many people are desiring to call magic. And so, one of the tools I gave you about showing up stronger now is to go through your past and acknowledge where you were magic, and you get to show up now stronger, okay? And I'm talking even about, a little crazy thing, like, I wanted a piece of gum, or, as some of us are women, it's like, oh my gosh, I need a tampon. I don't have a tampon in my purse. You know what? Let me just look really quickly. Maybe there's one I don't know is there or something. And then all of a sudden you find the tampon that you need. Magic, you created it. It wasn't there before. Okay? So go back through and acknowledge the moments like that. You did create it. You were magic. You did alter events and produce marvels using hidden natural forces or the energy that you be, okay? So you want to go through that. Another thing to do to help shift and change this, and I know it's going to freak out some of you, and I'm sorry, but it's true. Practice. Because one of the things we do is like we ask for something and then we go, oh, but it's not going to happen. So we actually stop the energy. We don't actually desire to move forward, or we're afraid to, right? It's that distraction of doubt and things like that. So you do need to practice. Ask for something you think is small, okay? Like I was saying, like, oh, I would love to find a piece of gum in my purse right now. And then podpock everything that thinks it won't happen or can't happen, and then look. And then if you don't find it, podpock everywhere you think it's a failing or you're not magic, and then just keep going. And what's fun is, because we're cute this way, you might find it on your desk or something, like, oh, because we have this ability to go, oh, well, because it was on my desk and not on my purse, it wasn't magic, it was just a coincidence. No, it's still you. And then when you go, okay, that was magic, I just created that, I asked for it, it showed up, close, fine-tune it for next time. Because here's the thing, even doing it in the past, doing it actively like this, you get to fine-tune it as well, and different things begin to show up, okay? And so check it out. Please, 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 please do try, because you are magic. Magic is not going against the natural order. It's actually the natural order. It is the forces. It is energy that you be, and you do it all the time. You're bursting at the seams. You know, like in the first Harry Potter book, he was doing magic accidentally. Well, that's us. We're 11 years old doing magic accidentally. And so now begins your training. Now begins the moment of actively practicing. Even the folks in Harry Potter land practiced their magic. The only difference is they knew they could do it. And you know what? So can you. Know that. Be that. Pop talk everywhere you think you can't, because you know what? You already are. If you would just look at it, which is the potency of looking at the past, is just to look at it and go, you know what? I did create that magic, and then using it actively instead of on accident. Okay? I know it can be scary, destroy and uncreate everything that is, and just keep going. Practice it. Magic. You are it. Be it. Do it. Use it. Cool. And a fun place would be to do practice that. Hey, join me in Rome this weekend, Perth, Australia the next weekend, Brisbane after that, or you can check out in the advanced Right Body for You tool, Right Body for You tools in action in New Orleans, Louisiana, in the French Quarter. I am so looking forward to this class. You guys talk about magic. The second I flew into that city for the first time, or drove in, actually, the first time I drove, I'm like, oh my gosh, this land is palpable with magic, and it is such a fun, and I can't wait to share the city with a lot of you. There's only 30 spots, so it can be the intimate group that of what it is, so you can actually put the Right Body for You tools into action and really create and generate a fun place to be, and the depth and breadth to the Right Body for You tools, so you and your body can be the magic that you be, can create the change, can create what you're actually asking to create, but it's also about gaining the trust of you and getting rid of that nasty little thing called doubt, because how much of it, the doubt creates it not happening, okay? So I hope you do join us. You can check it out, Donnielle.com, DONNIELLE. And while you're on there checking out about Right Body for You tools in action, check out the page. I have a lot of fun information on there. I have intro video classes on there for you free to watch. Some of the archived radio shows, sound clips, and you can find out about the classes. If you want a private session, you know, I've been doing a lot of the private sessions up here in Edmonton, Canada. I love doing private sessions with people, getting really one-on-one and getting into the depth of what's going on for them and helping them, you know, shift and change. One of the sessions here, somebody was denying her ability with magic, and she went home and, magic and money. She went home and found $50 in her drawer. She lives in Canada, and she found $50 in her drawer. How's it get better than that? So I love helping people one-on-one with the magic they be. So you can, and the bodies be, so you can check that out on Donnielle.com, my website, and also check out the store. I have a lot of fun products from the past that are quite potent, series and things like that. So do check it out, Donnielle.com, DONNIELLE.com. So I hope you guys have fun. I did. Hope you be magic. Make it a fun week, a happy week, a magical week, and be back next week, because I will be. And until then, you guys, please, as always, have fun, because it is all around. See you next time. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for listening to Right Body for You. Donnielle will return next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you and your body will join us. Until then, have fun.